Decision 2022, a new poll finds the top statewide races are toss-ups with just days to go until next Tuesday's election. It appears that the races for governor and U.S. Senate in Wisconsin will go down to the wire.
And that means voters could be up late for results. Let's look at the numbers. Today, Marquette University's law school poll released its final survey results for the 2022 midterms, offering one final snapshot before voters head to the polls. We begin with the race for governor, where the Marquette poll reveals a dead heat. 48% of likely voters supporting Democratic incumbent Tony Evers. 48% favor Republican challenger Tim Michels. In early October, it was Evers 47% and Michels 46% among likely voters. And the race for the U.S. Senate has tightened once again. 50% of likely voters in Wisconsin support Republican incumbent Ron Johnson. 48% support Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes. In early October, it was Johnson 52% and Barnes 46%. Now, Wisconsin is living up to its battleground image. I asked Marquette's Charles Franklin about the dead-even governor's race.
It is eerily similar to 2018, where very modest Walker leads evaporated to a pure tie in the last pre-election poll, and that's exactly what we're seeing this time as well. So, pure toss-up. I don't know what else to call it when they're 48-48.
Franklin sees voter turnout this year approaching 2018 levels, which was about 2.7 million voters. Today, I talked with voters about this year's election.
I feel like my voice is being heard.
Xavier Cruz is already ahead of the game, and he's new to it. The 18-year-old cast his early absentee ballot days ahead of next week's election. First-time voter. How did that feel?
It was exciting. It feels like I'm becoming more of an adult, getting my opinion out, known, speaking my mind.
Cruz is among the nearly 191,000 in-person early voters in the state. Did you go to any rallies? Did you participate in things that, help you become more informed?
No, it's just everywhere on social media. It's everywhere.
Milwaukee's Doris Martin says she never misses an election, but she won't miss all those campaign ads when it's over. What did you think of all the political ads? Did you watch them?
Some I watched, some I just didn't watch. So the ads to me take away from people's decision making to me because it's a lot of negative stuff.
Martin says it's not just about the candidates. She's also concerned about the issues.
We having so much unnecessary killing with the young that is very worrisome.
Crime is a big issue, according to polling this year by Marquette Law School's Charles Franklin. But there's another trend he's noticed this year. Have you noticed anything different or interesting about the voters in this election?
Yeah, I think the degree of partisan divide is striking, that crossover voting virtually doesn't exist at this point. So we do have a more divided electorate.
Divided but determined to vote for their candidates.
There you go.
And in-person early voting in Milwaukee continues, Shannon, to Saturday, November 5th.
All right, now let's take a look at how early voting is going so far. More than 545,000 people have already voted by absentee ballot. Now, the darker shades of purple show the counties with a higher number of early voting. That includes Dane, Waukesha, and Milwaukee County. Now, here in Milwaukee, nearly 90,000 absentee ballots have already been turned in. So we've assembled our political panel to talk about today's poll results. Democratic State Representative David Bowen of Milwaukee and Republican strategist Bill McCoshen. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Representative Bowen, let me begin with you. With the polls this close, what do Evers and Barnes need to do to get Democrats over the finish line?
At this point in the game, it's about inspiring folks to get out and cast their ballots. This race will be determined by who can inspire the most voters to actually get up and get those ballots in.
All right, Bill, the governor's race looks just as close as just 4 years ago. What do Republicans need to do to help Michels and Johnson win?
It's all about the closing argument for Tim Michels. He needs to remind people that 58% of voters here in the state of Wisconsin today said that Wisconsin's on the wrong track, that our schools are underperforming, that crime is rising, that inflation is at a 40-year high. It's all about the closing message. If you want to continue on the path we're on, then Tony Evers is your guy. If you want to change course, then Tim Michels is your guy. And the same goes for Johnson. He's the opposite of Joe Biden, whose poll numbers in today's Marquette poll were minus 13. So I don't think Biden's going to help Barnes at all in the final stretch here.
All right, let's talk about it. Rep. Bowen, the campaign rhetoric has been harsh and the political ads very negative. Will that help or hurt turnout?
Well, currently everybody is tired of the ads, especially when you have so many ads that are dishonest about people's records. If you look at the ads against Mandela Barnes, an amazing elected official that's young, has a clean record. If you look at those ads, you would think that he is the criminal looking at those ads. So unfortunately, there's been a lot of dishonesty, but I believe that you're going to have a surge of people who will vote and cast their ballot in favor of making sure that the truth is shown. And especially with Barnes's record, we know that's a clean record, and we know that he has a chance to make this win happen.
Bill, you're a veteran campaign strategist. The political divide here is strong. Are these ads helping or hurting turnout at this point in the election process?
I still think we're going to have a record turnout, probably 2.8 million people. I agree with Representative Bowen, though, that I wouldn't close negative for any of the four big candidates. I would close positive. I would tell voters why they should vote for you on Tuesday and literally ask for their vote head to camera. I think that's a much more effective way to close, and that's what I would suggest for the two Republican candidates for sure.
Representative David Bowen and Bill McCoshen, thank you both for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
If you have any questions ahead of election today, we're here to help. TMJ4.com/decision 2022 is your one-stop shop for answers. We have all the information you need to vote, including what's on your ballot and how to find your polling place.